Ladies and gentlemen, to start off, we've got the publishing segment of the show, and it's going to be hosted by none other than Mokoa. Make some noise. Brother, how you doing?
I'm great, thanks. How are you doing?
Standard.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, man.
Yes,
finally, I get to host some intellects.
Come on.
And combine it with the entertainment, and
That's how it should be, though.
Exactly.
It has to be there.
And who better to talk about all of this than Mokoa?
Is it really a workshop without Moti? I don't know, dog. If you don't see Moti, I don't know if it's really a workshop.
Yeah, man. I didn't do justice, man, with your introduction. Please just give me a little young 2-minute introduction on who Mokoa is and just your history.
Okay, for sure. So my name is Munya Chanetsa. I've been in the industry for over a decade now. I mean, we met many years ago. That was back at Content Connect. So as in, you can start the journey there. Content Connect Africa is where my career really picked up. Content Connect Africa, for anyone who doesn't know, it's an aggregation company, as well as now they've got online radio, as well as an online streaming platform. I mean, they're all about, the main business has always been caller tunes, and when I left, I was the Chief Operations Officer for Africa. So I was responsible for opening up offices across the continent, making great networks. It was the one that really put me on my path. And then from there, I hit Capasso, the Composers, Authors and Publishers Association of South Africa. I headed up the licensing department, and that was a real, I always say it's baptism of fire, because I thought I knew the industry until I joined Capasso. That's when I learned there's a whole segment which is the publishing and copyright or intellectual property that we neglect. And as we neglect that, we're losing money. So, that's actually where now MOTI came to play, which stands for Masters of the Industry. Because I figured, I was like, I've been in the industry then already like 9 years, and I was like, sure, if I don't know this after 9 years, what chance does some youngster who's just trying? So that's when MOTI actually was born, during my time at Capasso. And MOTI right now is Masters of the Industry, motiafrica.com. It's an online video streaming platform where you get access to just music business information. It's a skill sharing platform that just provides information in the format of video for anyone who wants to start in this industry. So you start off correct. You don't miss out on any ways you could potentially make money in your future. Then from Capasso, it was an opportunity. As much as I love Capasso, but boardrooms and just fighting is something it's a lot. So I got an opportunity to now get back with the creators, working with songwriters and producers, who I often call are the forgotten creators, actually, because I know artists see flames. So now imagine a layer down of the artists, the songwriters and producers who are really just in the shadows, who no one really, and they lose a lot of money. And I really became passionate about songwriters and producers specifically. I enjoyed my time at Sony, and then last but not least, where I am currently, I was then offered an opportunity to become the managing director of Empire Publishing.
Nice.
So Empire is a American-based record label distribution company, and so I'm heading up the publishing division for the continent, and It's been a journey. It's been dope.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank
man.
you.
What a journey. What a journey.
Sir.
All right, so I share so many sentiments with what you just said, because one of the reasons this platform was created was because we focused a lot on the producers and the creators of the art, because artists and people that really know how to brand themselves are really able to take it, get the endorsements, get all of that. But what about the person who actually created the art we all fell in love with? That's dope, man. So I just want to also go into what you were talking about, creating the video platform, and I remember you also had Multi Mondays. What inspired that?
So it really was, okay, if I'm being honest, there's an element of me where, number one, I started realizing my job was becoming harder because there's a lack of understanding within our industry. So it's almost like, I always say, it's like when I'm talking to someone, I'm almost having to talk in that like kindergarten, where I'm always doing the ABCs with you, where internationally people are already on Y equals EMX squared plus Y, so there's a big gap, and we need to get there. And that's why I was like, so it's almost a selfish reason. I was like, to make my job easier, if people understood what they needed to do, if people knew that when it comes to publishing, and a publisher deals with songwriters and producers, and one of the most important things are split sheets, for example. People don't do split sheets, which often leads into, and the roll-on effect is, if you don't do a split sheet, you do a song that becomes a hit. Next thing, everyone is now chasing the money. It becomes disputes, royalties get frozen, you lose out. That's money. It's a whole revenue stream that gets blocked. So I just kept on seeing this and having to repeat these ABC kind of conversations. The difference between, a publisher isn't a distributor. A publisher, those. And so I got tired and I said, no, let me put this out. And also, I do want to be a multi-maker, if I can coin that actually. Someone where we need to start focusing on building business-minded people within our industry. Creativity, we've got it down packed. We've shown the world. We trend every day with new Tyler's #1. We're just talking. South Africa has it.
Yeah.
But it's the business side which we're now lacking, and that's why a lot of our creatives end up always falling into the same traps. It's 2023, you're still hearing about, I signed a whack deal and I'm locked in a contract. And I'm like, not in 2023, fam. Not with all the resources. So I just thought, maybe the issue is that the information is everywhere. Maybe we need to find one consolidated place where you know where to get information. And that's where I said, let me go for an online platform, which is multiafrica.com. So yeah, right now there's videos talking about the importance of branding and the things you need to be conscious of. It talks about publishing and the different players you would have in your team. If you're the artist, I talk about the importance of split sheets. I have key interviews with CEOs of the different collective societies of SAMRO, Capasso, RISA, SAMPRA. We've got all these conversations and interviews there for you, and it's available for you actually. You can go and learn and see. And my plan, ideally, what I would want is, not for the creators, because sometimes we put a lot of pressure on the creators to say you must create, you must understand contracts, you're signing whack deals, and that's why I was like, we need to actually, creators should now start saying, nah, I need a moti in my team. Having someone you just take along and say, listen, you focus on this business stuff, watch these videos that Munya's put out, learn, and you handle that and grow with the art. Just to say an artist's brand and experience grows, you can grow with someone and they're learning contracts. You can send them to, I know there's Academy of Sound Engineering, they do masterclass in music business. There's Rise Academy, they also do a business, music business course. You can jump into and just learn, because otherwise you're just gonna catch an L, dog.
Got you.
It's not that.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get it started.
Okay.
For a person who's just a newbie, I've just created my product. What is publishing and why do I need to know about it?
Okay, so publishing is, publishing is like long money in the industry. Publishing is the kind of money that actually, you can actually, like an asset, you can actually pass it on to your children. If your catalog makes money, that's why Michael Jackson's kids will never have to work in their life. Not even just 3 generations down, the Jacksons, they'll never have to work, because the royalties and the publishing money that comes through, they're nice for life. So publishers, just to give a quick breakdown, publishers deal with songwriters and producers. So our role is to do 3 things for songwriters and producers. Is number 1, protect your work. So make sure that no one is sampling. You always retain your rights, your publishing rights as a songwriter, as a producer. So yes, you can get paid that 10,000, but you need to view that as you're just being paid for your labor. But there's still royalties that you can still collect. That's the long money now. So you can collect those royalties, and who's responsible for those royalties for songwriters and producers specifically is SAMRO and Capasso. So the important thing is you need to become a member of those societies in order to get the 2 royalties that we call. One is called the performance royalty. That's what SAMRO collects and distributes to songwriters and producers. And then Capasso, they're responsible for what we call the mechanical royalty. And they collect that and distribute that to songwriters and producers. So we make sure that, because Empire is a global company, that wherever your music is played in the world, even in places you may not know, we are making sure that those societies were collecting your royalties. But in order for that to work, once you make a song in the studio, I mentioned it earlier before, split sheets. You need to do a split sheet, and a split sheet is a 1-page document that basically says, when it comes to the ownership of the copyright of this song, we're going to split it this way, basically. It's just a 1-page document, nothing hectic. And also on the multi-platform, I've also created what I call, there's a digital split sheet there. So because in my head I said maybe people aren't doing split sheet because it's a cumbersome process. I have to go print out, I must run. Okay, no, AJ left early, so I need to wait. So maybe I said no, let's just do it, make it digital. So on the multi-platform there is a digital split sheet that you can complete. You just put in people's splits, you put in ID numbers and the like. It sends an email to everyone who's been included. Everyone has to approve. You can then download the split sheet. Done. You just put a digital signature. Done.
Online.
Done.
No stress.
Done.
Get your mind.
Simple. So that's one of the ways that I'm just trying to make things just streamline processes. We're in a digital world. There's no reason for us to still be physically printing. That sheet gets lost. Who knows where it is? Anyway, so the split sheet is so vitally important because that's what we use. We take the split sheet to the collection societies to say, we notify you that AJ's just done a new track called AJ's House, and basically this is how it's split up. Munya owns 50%, AJ owns 50%. So when we're collecting royalties, I know just to collect AJ's 50% because I represent you, you're my guy. The remaining, Munya's publisher will need to handle that themselves. So it's so important. As I said, it's a revenue stream which you can actually make. And in terms of the money, because when I was working at Capacity, I remember once saying, how much it comes in royalties have you distributed to like single entities? And they said, Munya, the truth, it can range from 50 Rand to around 900,000 Rand. And that's, I'm like, that's crazy that certain people in this country here off royalties are chowing that much just because they've got their stuff in order, they've got the right, they're doing the right jobs and all that stuff. So publishers make sure that your stuff is registered correctly at the collection societies and that you're getting your royalties.
Yeah.
And then the third thing, which is the most fun thing for me, is we look for more opportunities for you as a songwriter, as a producer.
Okay.
So that means that we would, whether it is you songwriting or getting you into a writing room where we happen with in adverts, and it's moving pictures, you put music, that's a sync deal. So when adverts are using music, that's a synchronization. When you see songs that you know that are in movies, in TV shows, even in soccer, these are FIFA and all that, that's what we call a synchronization deal, and there's a transaction that happens for that. People pay up front for the usage of your song if it's in an ad, if it's in a movie, and so we look for those also placements as well for our songwriters, and that's the function of a publisher, and that's why it's so important as well.
Jeez.
Hey.
I'm not a mouthful, man.
Come
I
on.
went through my entire script.
I think I need to take a sip of water.
Nice one, man. Nice one. All right. Just while you were speaking, I had a thought. Is it true that currently now, if you're a producer, putting out more music consistently is better than having sort of like one good song at a particular time? Does putting out more music somehow compound into being able to now make a living off of just the publishing of your music?
So to answer your question, yeah, quantity isn't necessarily better when it comes to this, because you have to also, if you have to look at it, people will only want to use something they deem valuable. So they want a beat that is, so whether if it's a song that is, so it's better to have the one moment where you've got a song. So for example, I'll use like Jerusalem, for example. It's like, it's better to have that one song, and I was at Sony during that time, and I'm the one, I signed Mondile to Sony Music Publishing. And like that one track, for example, can change your life.
You signed that song?
We signed it to Sony Music
Hectic.
Publishing.
All right,
Yes,
all right,
yeah.
all right.
So that one song, for example, changed the Grammy Award-winning's life. For real. That, I mean, it definitely contributed in such a way. So quantity, unless you're making music for a sound library, for example. I mean, then there's sounds, and I guess people will pick and choose depending on what sound they want. But when it comes to doing it, you have to be strategic. You have to try, as a producer, to work with artists, for example, who have traction, whose music is going to travel and to move, and because you need your music to be active. That's the key word. So if the songs aren't active and you're just putting out, yes, maybe one day one song might crack and then people go back to your catalog. So you could play it like that. But in the event that doesn't happen, it's better for you to be more strategic, be in the right rooms, be in the right spaces, network with the right people to make sure the works that you are doing end up being active. You know, so it's better to have stuff which is active, that is of value, than just push.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right, man. So you spoke about different organizations,
Yeah.
and to a person who also does not understand what royalties are and the different types, can you? I know you touched on it,
Okay.
and you spoke about the royalties, right? But can you just sort of give a better understanding as to this one will give you this,
Okay.
just to clarify it a
Right.
little more.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Let's get into it. So let me just say, music has two rights. People need to understand. So there's rights in composition. So that's basically the rights in what makes a song. And what does make a song? Lyrics, beats, melodies, and that's actually the space where publishers play. Then music has another right, which is the right in the sound recording, or a lot of people understand it as the master, the rights in composition side as well. So they're the ones responsible to making sure the royalty. So as I mentioned, or I did mention, sorry, Sam was responsible for the performance royalty. Performance royalty is, if you have to break it down, is saying anywhere where music is played in public. So it's not a gig performance, but it's anywhere. So like on radio, music is played in public, that's a performance. When you go to the mall and music is playing, people need to be, that's paid for basically. So Samuel's duty is to make sure all these places where music is being used in public performance, that these guys have a license, they're paying their license, and Samuel's collecting that money and distributing it to the members who are the songwriters, composers, and the publishers. So that's Samuel. So Samuel does performance royalties. Capasso, on the other hand, does a mechanical royalty, and again, they deal with only songwriters, producers, and publishers. Mechanical royalty is based on usage now of your works. So every time, so usage is basically saying when there's a stream, when your song is streamed once, that is seen as usage. So every time your song is streamed, there's a percentage of that royalty of the money that is taken and basically collected for the songwriters and producers.
Okay.
So that's where the mechanical royalty. So of any platform where music is being used now, it's now being consumed like that. That's mechanical royalty, and Capasso is responsible for collecting and distributing that. Now, when we move to Sampra now, Sampra is on the other side now, and Sampra actually they also collect the performance royalty. But now it's not for the songwriter and the producer. It's for the record. It's now the people who actually performers of the song, basically. So it's for the actual artist or the session musicians who actually perform the song. So Sampra, again, they deal with the performance royalty, but it's for songwriters. It's for the performers, the artists, the record labels, the session musicians. And they call their performance royalty. Their performance royalty is called neighboring rights, also known as related rights or needle time. I think in SA we call it needle time. So they collect that royalty again, and they distribute it to record labels. Affects everyone directly. In actual fact, and this is why I say we need more business-minded people in the industry, because the creators aren't that concerned because they don't understand. However, if there was someone who understood to explain why the creators need to get behind, it's very important. So I think the Copyright Amendment Act was originally made in 1978 or 1976, one of the two. And basically, obviously, we all know the world has changed drastically in the last couple of years. I mean, digitization and stuff and all the like. However, because this act was drawn up back in the 70s, clearly it doesn't really address. They wouldn't have known in the future. They had no idea they had no idea about streaming or anything. So there's basically, in long and short, as I'm saying, certain things are backwards, and they're backward in the sense they now are actually handicapping the industry. It now cuts you short. So there's certain things, for example, like back then they made the lifetime of copyright. So copyright has a lifetime. Earlier, one of the things I mentioned was that this stuff with IP, when it comes to music and publishing, this is something you can pass on to your kids. It's something that's an asset that you can pass to your heirs. So, but this asset also has its own lifetime, and this is now one of the arguments, is the lifetime of the copyright. Currently, I think the lifetime of the copyright is 50 years. So it's saying, if Munya makes a song, which becomes, actually, I'll use it perfectly. Mbube is the great example, which I even tried to do some things in that space. But Mbube is a song done by Solomon Linda.
Oh, Mbube?
Mbube, that track, yeah. So if anyone knows the story behind that track, basically, It's a situation where Solomon Linda created a song. Now it's became the song we all know as, well, most people know globally it's known as The Lion Sleeps Tonight. It became popular because of Lion King. It blew up. However, because things were not done correctly, the Solomon Linda family, who should have been the heirs and being able to be chowing those royalties through all these years, really didn't get the opportunity to do that, which is a sad situation. And technically what would have happened, because he passed away in 1967, because the life of copyright, so once the original composer passes away, 50 years after that, that's the life of the copyright. So currently in the Copyright Act is 50 years. Most countries in the world is now 100 years. So that's an issue. So that means we're cutting short the ability for us to pass on this asset to our families, if that makes sense. So now instead, something that our families can maybe chow for 100 years, if it's a smash hit, it's now reduced to 50. So that needs to change, for example. There's also the big thing about fair use. Fair use is a tricky one where don't not sign split sheets. I think it's very important to get split sheets done, because
before or after the studio session.
So I guess you kind of need to assess the room. In my head, usually I think it's easier if you say, what I used to do is during a session I'd print out, I'd ask people as you're coming in, I'd say, please just write your name on the split sheet, put your details, write it before anything starts, so that now at least that part is done. So now when at the end of the session we've seen how much people have contributed, because a split sheet is negotiated based on how much have you contributed to the song. If I just was clapping on a song, which happens, someone can just read that clap, but that clap, it could be just a clap where someone says, Munya, you can just 1%. And it's cool, I'm okay. But maybe if that clap is like what song is a clap which is quite significant? There's some songs which have claps which are, maybe that one they can be like, no, but my clap is actually the main thing. So I want maybe a young 20 or something. So it's all based on what you've contributed to the song. And but the conversation needs to be had then afterwards. Once you contribute, you understand, everyone signs off on it manually and done. But that's also why I've done the split sheet digitally as well, to avoid having to do that. You just put everyone's emails, you put it on the platform, it sends out an email to everyone there, and then you approve, you register, done, split sheet is done. It makes it easier. But for me, the biggest battle I have is split sheets. It hinders negotiations, especially when writers are wanting to talk to me about having an advance. They think, Munya, I want an advance, can I pick on you? And we're very happy to pay advances, but it has to make, your work needs to be in order. I can't blindly give an advance, because also advances, you guys must also not rush for advances actually. I think unless you know how, if I'm giving you an advance of 50,000 Rand, for example, unless you know how to make that 50,000, 100,000, don't just, it's not, an advance isn't meant to just be money that you now take home to now fix this crib, you're fixing it, your new car, and whatnot. Advances are meant to basically advance you and your career. That's the name, it's to advance you. But the wrong usage, so not that advances are bad, but they have to be used correctly. So, but yeah, going back to the most important thing, which I always stress, is for me is split sheets. That for me is, without split sheets, it makes things very difficult for a publisher to even work with you. So that's the one thing for young producers. Other than that, know your rights, understand that, you don't just sign away anything, because sometimes I've seen deals where certain songwriters signed a deal that they've even given away their rights, and they didn't know that they did. So then once you sign off your rights, anything that you write, anything that has your signature, in the court of law, it means that you understood what was there and you signed off on it and you agreed. It's very hard to reverse that, to now plead negligence, or I didn't understand. In the court of law, it's a tricky thing. So please watch out with what you sign. Don't just sign away stuff. And I'll just go back and say split sheets again, Split sheets. Yes,
one more thing before we go into the Q&A. House music, it was underground, doing remixes and all of that, and throwing music out. What's the right way to do this?
So thank you, actually, this is something I should have touched on. So publishers can also assist you in clearing songs, so that you don't have the situation like happened, and this is with like Kavulungu,
the Peter Tennant
track, which became an issue. Is, hey, she gave me sleepless nights, but because copyright is copyright. Sometimes there've been things where people say, if you use just 5 seconds of someone's thing, it's fine. If you use 29 seconds, you don't need to clear it. It's a lie. The minute you use something that does not belong to you, you have to get it cleared. It doesn't matter how much it is. So the right way to do it is, ideally, if you have a track that needs to be cleared, if you have a publisher, engage with your publisher. Let your publisher know that this, I've got this track, I've sampled this track. Please, can you find out who the right holders are, so that you can get this song cleared, so that when I release it, there's no takedowns, there's no issues. Because the worst thing to happen, and this is actually what happened with Kavulungu, is that it was online. They put it online, unfortunately, without their knowledge. It was illegal. They used a sample, and when they put that online, the real rights holders came after them, demanding money, and it became a bit messy. But we managed to fix it for them and help them out. That's why it's out. But had they reached out to a publisher, at the time they didn't even have a publisher, we only signed them during that thing, but had they had a publisher and had they known, they would have come to us, we would have cleared the song, got it put out problem, so that it doesn't kill your flow. It's not good to have a song that's available, it's doing well, it's streaming, suddenly you have to take it down, now you lose. People are looking for your song, they can't find it. This day and age, people move like this as well. What's the next song? They move on to the next song, you end up losing streams, you lose momentum, you're having to pick, it just becomes a bit harder. So
business side needs to be involved. Yes, we've been supporting the music industry all the time because it's in the genes. We live it as a lifestyle. But yes, we can see that, but the money we can't see. And, all the talent in the township, every year we produce new artists, but the money we can't see. Okay, we don't know what's happening to those who are fortunate, who are thriving today. But you know, we want this industry to be an industry where everyone is going to benefit. Yeah, I would also like for maybe the side, maybe to know more. I hope will you be able to answer?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. No, thank you. We can carry on with this one.
All right. Second question I think came from that. Let's do the second one here, and then we move back to the side.
Meaning, I wanted to know how can I...
You're not my brother, ne? I think just stand up and be, project.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then while we sort out the mic.
Okay. I wanted to know how can I fight a fair use as a producer, like on my own, because I believe industry, it is an I thing, it's not a we. Someone must stand on his own before all of us can fuss. Yeah. So much. I want to know how can I fight if I use.
So, as in personally, I mean, as you said, as an individual, you can't fight it by yourself. This is a collective thing. So, if anything, there are current bodies. I know the Samro, Capasso, they've been pushing hard against fair use. They've been, they've been done demonstrations and the like. Rather, I'd advise it's better for you to join a movement that is actually going and even try to recruit more people. That's, I think, how you could actually really help if you're against it. Rather than as an individual, there's not much. As you, one man, there's not much you can do. Whereas to join the movement and the collective, yeah. So I know even recently, YouTube, there was an update that was given by Samro. There's a video on YouTube where they specifically saying that, see what instructions and what they're saying would need to happen. That's my advice. Sure.
All right. I don't think we have any more questions this side, né? Can we move? Okay. So it's 1, 2. Those 2 more questions, né? All right, cool. So the brother there with the NY cap.
Thank you for this opportunity. I wanted to ask, if you are a DJ, so music that you get online for free, am I going to get in trouble maybe if I play them in future without buying music?
So with DJing, there's actually a thing, and if you look on my socials, on the interview I had with Samro, there actually is a thing called a DJ license, which you need to technically have as a DJ. I think it is, I can't remember the instructions of what you need to do. It's in the clip that I have on my, so if you watch the clip, you'll see there's one specifically. So I think as a DJ, that's the kind of thing that you would need to do to clear yourself. And I mean, ultimately, you don't want to get songs from illegal platforms without, ideally, but I can never say, but ideally you'd want to get songs that are legit and from credible sources, from the actual artists or the like, or through the platforms.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to ask, let's say I'm a filmmaker, ne? And then now I want to use Kabza the Small song on my film.
Yes.
So do I have to contact the artist directly, or do I have to go to Samro, or like what's the process behind that?
So the way, if you have a contact with, what would happen, and I imagine, is if you were to hit up Kabza would probably direct you to the publisher. The person, you need to find out who Kabza's publisher is, and I think currently his publisher is Sony Music Publishing. So if you had a sample of his that you wanted to use, you would need to go to Sony Music Publishing and hit him up. But ideally, anyone who you want to sample and stuff, speak to them and say, who's your publisher, so I can get a clearance. And the publisher will then help facilitate. At the end of the day also, by the way, even though you might request to get a clearance, it's up to the discretion of the rights holder to say yes or no. Kabza can still say, no, I don't want it. You can't force anyone to use this, so, you know. So the publisher will help you have the conversations, but at the end of the day, Kabza will make the decision, and then the publisher will inform you if you've got a green light or a red light. Yeah.
Sorted.
Bandcamp.
Yeah.
The app
Yeah.
where people make music.
The platform.
The platform.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, what are my thoughts on Bandcamp? I'll be honest, I don't really have many thoughts on Bandcamp. And I don't know who the owners are, I'm not too sure, so yeah.
No, but my question was, because it has better sales, and a lot of people are actually relating to it, in terms of putting their music there instead of all other platforms.
Oh,
Yeah, because it has better sales.
it's better?
Sales.
Oh, is it? Okay, I'm not. Is it Bandcamp the one on Mac? MacBook, Bandcamp. Like I've seen MacBook, there's the app, I've seen Bandcamp, but I've never. Huh? Oh, I'm thinking GarageBand. Sorry, my bad. Sorry. Okay, I'm not too sure about Bandcamp though. But okay, I'll look out for it and see what's.
Is this more of a distribution thing?
It looks like it's more.
All right, yeah, right? Yeah, Pule, you can
Yeah.
start Googling there.
Yeah.
Pule's gonna come answer
There
all
you-
your distribution questions.
Thank you. There we go.
All right,
All right.
man. Munya, also known as Moti, thank you very much for your time,
It's a
dude.
blessing.
We really appreciate it. We
Thank
hope you
you.
get to stick around and share some more knowledge with us. And yeah, just, keep engaging with the energy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you for doing this, yo.
Standard.
Appreciate it. All right, yes. Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Just Mo. Brother, how are you?
Good on you, man.
Easy, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring the invite.
Thank you for waking me up so early on a Saturday, bro.
Yeah, man. All of us are here, so it's for something. It's for something.
Most
It's for something.
def.
All right,
Shout
man. I know what the introductions are not good, man. You guys have done a lot, but just to cover your journey so far.
The love started way back. It's a passion I had for the medium, for radio. And since like high school, I always wanted to be a DJ,
Okay.
And then started mixing. And then obviously used to listen to your radio, listen to your favorite mix shows and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to do that. So I had a 9-to-5 that I quit. And then I went to YFM. They had an internship program, which I joined.
This is the Y Academy.
The Y Academy.
Okay.
I tried the first time, I didn't get in. Second time, lucky, I got in because they were taking 12 candidates. And number 12 got into a car accident. And I was number 13, so I became number 12. So it was by luck. So I got into it, and then from there, an internship program is just basically a foot in the door, and then the rest is up to you. I really don't want to be like on air. I wanted to be behind the scenes because I wanted to just DJ. Gandhi, there's more than that.
Yeah.
And then met up with Mosquito, and he was like, "Yo, you can do this thing. Let's see what we can do with you." So yeah, because like honestly, I didn't really want to be on-air personality. I just wanted to show my creativity through music and through DJing.
Yeah.
And then the bug hits you. Once it hits you, there's no looking back.
It's late. All right.
Now we can talk forever. Now we can do talk shows and whatever. So yeah, that's how I got into it, through the academy. And then when Oscar left, and then I had to fill in his shoes, big shoes to fill. and either you sink or swim in this industry, bro. You know.
All right, man. You've clearly been swimming, man, because you've been at it. Eh? So, how does one person or a person get into Y Academy, and why is Y Academy important?
Yeah, well, let's say it was because it's no longer around. It's just it was on a break from COVID.
Yeah.
So it was the best internship program in the country because they took 12 candidates from all walks of life, all ages. I remember they used to cap it at like 28, and then they just made it whatever. So you come in for 6 months, work in a radio station, and then you go through all the various departments, and then you do on air last. You know, most people just want to get there and be rock stars.
On air, yeah,
so they show you the behind the scenes, and then I started liking more behind the scenes, and then once I got to on air, and then you know that took over, and then I ran with it. So it was a great internship because you know it's one way for you to get into radio, because honestly radio is South Africa, and over 200 and something community and campus and retail and public stations. So with that said, breaking into the commercial scene is very hard. So internships or, you know, take a boy child or girl child to work, there's your best things. Best way to get into the industry. So wherever, if you want to get into radio, wherever you can find an internship program, make sure you apply yourself and work extra hard and make sure that you somehow can get in. Because sending demos it's another process, because programs manager listens to many demos.
No.
So campus is the best way, or community.
Or starting off from the beginning and building your way up. Yeah.
I didn't even do all of that. I never went to varsity. Like I told you, I quit the 9 to 5 and I just went straight inside. Campus is the best way to start community and retail for you to end up on commercial, which is where the end game is now.
I've got you.
Yeah.
I've got you. All right. A lot of us here, composers, we create our own music and we want to get out there. Radio compilation is tough for a lot of people. I'm sure majority of the people here have tried. How do we get on, and what usually stops us from making it past?
You mean getting your song played on radio? Playlisted.
Yeah.
All right. Number one, payola is illegal. If anybody asks you for something to play your song on radio, that's a no-no, number one.
Yeah.
It's huge in the industry where people don't talk about it. Mara, you know, something. We'll make things happen. Don't. You know?
Yeah.
I just wanted to start there. Honestly, just wanted to. And maybe someone doing the admin. You need to find out who those people are, number one. Most radio stations in SA, most of them, they have email addresses. It's not like back in the day where you would walk into a station, drop off a demo. Music, obviously, it's got to be digital, number one, because stations don't take physical CDs anymore. In your email, make sure that you put a download link to your song. Do not attach the song to the email. A lot of stations have IT departments, and those guys like blocking things. You know, firewall, megabyte limit, etc. Little write up about yourself, your credentials, your details, artist title, genre, ISRC codes, who the publisher is, and as much info so that people don't have to be calling you back and forth if they're gonna play it. Then, here's my latest single, please check it out. I mean, who are you? Number one. What genre is this? Does it fit our station? Make it easier for the compilers to see your, okay, it's Afro-pop, not for us. Oh, it's hip-hop, okay, cool. Let's take a listen. Here's the artist, here's his details. Social media platforms as well, put it out there. Make sure
it's part of the brand.
Everything is social media. Like, do not leave that. Even put your house address if you have to.
Man. And then before we close it off and go into Q&A, you're on The Warehouse, one of my favorite radio shows. Not just because of the house music and all of that, but because the hosting of it is so genuine and it's dope, right? I know there's someone here again that wants to be on The Warehouse J2. It's on Fridays, no?
Yes, it was last night.
It was last night.
That's why you woke me up early.
This coming Friday, what do I have to do?
Cool, man. Besides The Warehouse, there's other shows that I do as well. There's a show called In the Ring. Let's start there, where it's a DJ battle. We actually have one contestant over here. He was in the show. We have another contestant. She's over there. She's actually the current YTKO DJ. So there's many other shows. Okay, before we get to the warehouse, so I do In the Ring. Saturdays it's a DJ battle. Email address for that one is inthering@yfm.co.za. inthering@yfm.co.za. So you can send your 1 hour mix with your profile and your all your details, everything that I just said before. And you can start there. In the Ring is where we start. Pela, the warehouse is the end game. On top. In the Ring is where we get.
You start building up to
Wherever,
the,
yeah. Where I always like finding new talents as well. That's why you have those two shows. In the Ring, that's more for everybody. We take all mixes there, but the warehouse specifically for house music. And my email address once again, justmo@yfm.co. No, big up, man.
Do we have any questions? I'm only gonna take 5 if we get that far, because of time. Question from the brother there.
Sure, Mr. Mo.
Yes, brother.
I would like to check something, man. Let me ask you that question.
Yes, sir.
Who's powerful between YFM and TikTok?
And who?
TikTok.
TikTok, my brother.
Hey, I'm a dying fan of YFM. I don't like what's happening.
Okay.
Because you remember, man, you did Manchester United. I'm still a Manchester United fan, but they're getting people. Yeah, but it's like that when it comes to YFM, my brother.
Okay.
YFM, please, but take us back.
Okay, cool.
Take that crown again, at least to get next year.
Cool. Yeah, I can answer your question very, very easily, my brother. I think you've outgrown it. You've outgrown YFM, my dog. We want the youngins now. For my TikTok, I'm a 2K.
Yeah.
For the youngsters. So if you listen to the station, listen to the music, listen to the content, listen to the actual the DJs. They're still all very young. It's YFM. They even got a new brand, a new logo. They've rebranded. They've changed. The days of obviously the legends. We all know who they are. That era is come and gone. You understand? So if you're with the youth now and what they like and what they listen to, you can get down with it again. But I hear where you're coming from. That's why you can listen to my show on Sundays. Maybe I can bring you back, because I see Matsimena now we're the same age. You feel me? So yeah, why is rebranded, dude? It's totally got a new target market. They're aiming for 17 to 24. That's their core listeners. You understand?
Sure.
So yeah, the days of summer days are long gone.
What I'm checking is for the opportunity that is coming for the kids we inspired.
Yes, sir.
On my side, I've never submitted anything, but I'm a person in the township that grooms the producers and DJs and all that.
Yes.
So I wish I could see them there, but the way you guys used to withdraw the audience, like YFM was Metro new, man. They never stood a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all the talent was submitted at YFM.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something that I'm checking lately, that I saw the young guys, or maybe is it because of House and Amapian?
No, not necessarily. For the youth, for the young up-and-coming artists, Y still has this open door policy where you can come and submit your music. It's not like they're only playing what's commercial now. You understand? They do find new artists to come play on air and stuff like that. So you, as the guy Wasekas who's mentoring these young ones, tell them your first starting points is obviously your community, and then obviously maybe get to a commercial station like Y and Metro and stuff like that. Encourage them to submit music. You understand? Because yeah, because it's sometimes people they think that the music's not good enough to be played after Cubs that are small and those people and things like that. You know, they need to really believe in their music as well, that it will take off. That's what I said before. All of that, they must do all of that stuff. Look, you know the saying, house will never die. Guys, this thing is not a lie. Like, it is the truth. House music is one genre that has been there when so many came in and out, died, got born. Remember dubstep?
Yeah.
What happened to dubstep?
I haven't heard a dubstep song. I see Skrillex everywhere, ne? But I've never seen a dubstep song.
You understand?
Or heard, sorry, in a while.
You understand? So with house music, with the amount of producers and the talent that we have, the vocalists, the producers, the people that are actually making the sound, whether because house is a big genre. All these sub-genres is what keeping this genre alive. Because you can make an Afro-tech song with a bit of soul, with a bit of deepness, with whatever, That's what's gonna keep it going. So, little now we need a 50 years of house, celebration or something. If someone can tell us when the first house song was made, if someone can do that research.
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
True.
Could be disco, could be whatever. So, house is that thing that will never ever die. It'll always be there. So, it's gonna change. Afro-tech, three-step, deep house lights, whatever you want to call it. It's always wearing new faces, new
Same
hats.
thing, but it's
Same thing.
Yeah.
Fall to the floor.
Yeah.
And it'll always be like that. My piano is huge, and I love it. I dance to it. You know what
Of
I mean?
course.
I don't play it, but I dance to it. So that genre, Leonard's new. Leonard's still gonna do amazing things. Still gonna change as well. Leonard, there's sub-genres in there. There's private, there's Geisha, there's what. Hey, my man.
goes on, huh?
It goes on for days,
Of
but
course.
house will always be around. Trust me.
No?
Yeah.
From a music manager, I can firmly, stand in your words. Son of Dennis, here we go. We've got a question from him.
Hi there, sir.
What's up, brother?
Hope this message finds you well.
Received well, thank you.
I just really want to find out what your take on the longevity of radio in general. I think kind of new age kind of puts it as if radio is kind of dying, so it's like something like we're not very like excited about necessarily, or whatever the case is. Like, what do you think the longevity of it is?
Good question.
Yeah. What if I put it to you that 80% of South Africans listen to radio? Or have in the past 7 days. Radio is the one medium that is growing year on year end. And most of it, I will say most of it, because most of the population is in the homelands, right? So your PBS, your public broadcasting stations, your home language stations, those ones keep growing. Commercial as well keeps growing. When those people leave the homelands, they come to the urban areas, they miss home, what do? They turn on whatever, medium reminds them of where they come from. Radio keeps growing year on year end. And it's one thing that is not necessarily growing too fast, but it is growing and it's maintaining. Ne? We understand there's streaming platforms, there's other social media things, there's many ways to consume content, but radio is still the number one platform where people source news, music, entertainment. That's the stuff that will always be around. You can turn on any radio station and be up to date with what's happening in the world. So maybe you're looking at it as a way where people are having too much access to a lot of information and you think radio's dying. You understand? But when you get in an Uber, homie's playing radio. When you get to the mall, they're playing radio somewhere, somehow. So it's really going to the top, man.
All right, nice. We'll have one more question and then, we can move on.
Good afternoon.
How's it, brother?
Good, brother. I'm Jabulo, aka Mr. Livado.
Away.
So, I'm a conceptual person. So, my question is within the ideology of radio. So, what has made radio so exciting for most people is the fact that it's mysterious. You get to picture the person or the voices, and you create notions of who they are and how they are.
Yes.
So now, in this age and this time and generation, do you think radio meets television will be a thing? So that's the concept that I was getting as we were
That has been done before. I don't know if you know a guy called Mark Gilman. He was at 5FM where he used to simulcast his show on 5FM, and then I think it was on channel something on DSTV, where where he did his radio show and you could see him at the same time. That has been done before, but I don't think it might get that way, because radio and TV are two big different mediums. TV is far bigger than radio, really. I mean, if anybody's gotten a royalty from a TV paycheck, you will know the difference to radio. So TV, you're not on its own, man. It's doing amazing, wonderful things. And I don't see radio, you see, we've got these cameras in studio and things like that. Maybe we can put it's gonna sit online. It might not sit on your on your free public TV stations and stuff like that, And I don't know, man, because a lot of radio presenters are not that good looking, so I'm not too sure.
Oh man,
That's shots. No, that's shot fired. That's shot fired. I really, but on a serious note, I don't see it going that way, man. Radio as a medium, I'm safe. Yeah? Radio as a medium on its own is doing amazing, wonderful things, and I'm excited to see where it's gonna go, especially with the switch of everything to become digital, no more analog, baba. Yet, I think as of this year, I think that's when they're cutting off the signal. I'm not too sure. And it's gonna do crazy, wonderful things. So my man, you can still conceptualize what your DJs look like and fantasize about them. You understand? Yeah, brother.
All right. Mostly the reason why I asked this is because of the hype that's happening at UJ.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very interactive with all social platforms. So they currently working on your TikToks.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen YFM doing a lot of those challenges and stuff. So
yeah, man. You'll have to take that up with the daytime DJ.
All right, thank you.
Because I've got TikTok, I've never even posted one video. You understand? But I think it's something that we should look into, I guess, as a station. We do TikTok stuff. The challenge things, I don't know about that, my bro. I don't know about it. But shout out to you, Jay, for doing that, man.
All right, thank you.
Big up.
nice one, man. Massive shout out to you. Thank you so much.
We ended up having 1,005 people there. So we took it to a lodge and all that, so it became a big party. I'm like, okay. It seems like events are something interesting, something I can go into. So that's how I started having my eventing background 10 years ago. And now I do stage management, I curate for events, I manage events, I help from concepts, creating direction, the feel, the look, experience for when people walk in.
Okay.
Yes, so I do everything in events essentially. I can help you organize your event from you don't know what you want to do, but you have the money. From finding a venue, finding a supplier, booking your lineup, getting you the right documents for you to have an event and all that. Then on the talent side, while doing sound, I actually met Ryan Megatroid, who at the time I was managing a friend of mine who said, bro, you do understand the business. Maybe you should become a manager. That time I was producing, I was like, I don't know, management, let me see.
Yeah.
But, because I also don't like being in front of people, that was a good idea, Then that's how I met Ryan doing sound. He actually thought I was kicking him off stage. And I was like, no, bro, I'm actually a huge fan of yours. And we had a conversation. And I told him that, I produce music, I wanted to come to one of your sessions, but I didn't have the money. He's like, nah, man, come to my studio.
Yeah.
Let's just hang. So Ryan Megatroid is Crazy White Boy, for those who don't know Ryan Megatroid.
Oh, thank you for clearing that up.
A legend at Soul Candy, a
Nice.
legend in Boston. He's the guy who does the music theory for the school. So I met him on Saturday. I texted him on Monday, hey bro, Valentine, we met on Saturday, yada, yada, yada. And he calls me, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, man, nothing. I'm just at that flat, I'm doing nothing. I can come through, Then I went through to his studio. That very same Monday, he asked me a very important question. What do you want to do? And it was the first time somebody actually asked me that question with intention. And I told him, I think I want to do events and management. I think that's my passion. That's how I became his booking manager. That's how I started running his label. From that, you know, I met Kaenda Soul, I met Zex Bantuni, I met Sanao, Musaki. That's how I ended up working with all these big artists, essentially, and doing their bookings, managing them and all that. You know, Atmos Blacks, Frigida Martillo, yeah, the list is quite long.
Jeez, man. Nice. You just mentioned some artists that are doing wonders in terms of their music. Their social media presence is on par, you know. Everything is together in terms of their brand. I just need like a little crash course. I'm a new DJ. I want to start branding myself. What are the first few items I need to look at?
I mean, first of all, you need to ask yourself, where do you fit in the ecosystem? Are you an amapiano DJ? Are you a house DJ? Are you a vocalist? You need to do the research and say, cool, if I'm a vocalist, how do I need to present myself? So that people can look at me and say, this guy is cool, this guy can sing. Then you start with the basics, you know. You need to make sure you have a photographer. You know, you are taking, if you don't have a photographer, your friend with an iPhone, a Samsung, something that's, you know, something modern, you know, so that they can take you your pictures so you can post. I mean, first of all, as a fan, a promoter, a brand, if I don't know you and somebody recommends me to you, I'm gonna look at your social media first, because I don't know who you are as a person and what you do. If your social media looks clean, I can understand that, okay, cool, there is something here. Then you start curating. You're like, cool, if I have gigs, I need to post my gigs in a nice way. If I have a bit of a hot dogs and I can see you don't have sauce, I'm gonna say, my brother, I have tomato sauce for you. Here's my brand, because I can see the demand. People are eating the hot dog there, they're choking, they're like, it's dry. But when I'm bringing you the tomato sauce, because I understand the demand. So a brand is something that puts itself and aligns itself with the demand of a consumer or a client. For instance, if, as my brother is saying just more, YFM is looking for a certain demographic. So you need to understand what YFM's mission is and vision for you to align with it. So if you know you're an amapiano DJ, you can either dress, like for instance, there's Good Is Nice video, where people are dressing old or whatever, or you can dress young and hip, where YFM can look at your page and say, this guy aligns with what we're doing, and that's how you get to the platform. So a brand...
Because we assist a lot of independent artists, you know, to when they release, actually, they look at them as like it's their label who's putting out the work, but it's us behind making sure that their content is visible around the world, even on playlist or any other thing on digital.
Okay, sorry, what exactly is it that you do? Because I said online distribution, you know, because that's what I wanted to speak about, but what is your actual position there?
Head of A&R and marketing. So I sign new talent, and also I market talent as well. You know, any other content that we sign, you know, it can be on like the distro side or on the network side, because we also work with the networks, your Telkom, Vodacom, MTN, you know, so yeah, that's how it works. Yeah. Even in the continent, we work with the likes of Airtel, you know, Orange,
Right. So you one of the guys I came to when I wanted to now get my music distributed. You guys at Content Connect Africa put it everywhere. You put it on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, like all of them, you know. You said you do A&R. So I'm guessing that means you don't just take anything that comes to you. No? Okay, cool. So in terms of online distribution, is it also another thing at CCA where you look at the brand and where it is and what it can do in terms of return?
It differs, you know, to be quite honest, there's a lot of indie artists, bedroom artists, who make platinum songs and they don't have any branding, but the music is super, super, super dope. You know, so I listen to the music most of the time, and we channel the focus on how do we position this person, and that's how like branding comes in, but we're not fully focusing on branding per se, but we position the music where we can take it, which playlist can fit, you know, on that particular track or an EP or an album. Then those other things, they come in together, you know. But the most important thing where we advise the artists is publishing as well, because we've encountered a lot of disputes, you know, where the song becomes big and the guys that didn't sign any deed of assignments or split sheet, you can put it that way. Yeah.
Where does that put you as an organization, where you've already published the song and then now these stories come up, there are fights, the song was stolen and
Okay, so we've been in those positions so many times. So at the end of the day, the artist comes first because they are the creators of the music. So the most important thing is all the parties to come together. Besides calling the lawyers and all of them, we sit with them, all of them, and like, okay, let's unpack the situation. Where did it start? You know.